What if you woke up and became a Purussaurus? Could you rule the Amazon? You just hatched from your shell, and an egg right beside you was bitten open. A giant tegu lizard over a meter long crouched in the nest, holding an egg in its mouth. This clutch of eggs is already down 3. You want to shrink back, but you have no idea how to control this body. Its own instinct drives it to crawl toward the light. You can only go along with it, helpless. Fewer than 5% of crocodile hatchlings survive to adulthood. You had read that statistic in books before and felt nothing. But now, you are a stake in that 5% gamble. A low growl explodes behind you. A 4-meter black caiman charges back into the nest, bites the giant lizard, and flings it away. This is your mother. At least she thinks you're her child. She lowers her head, gently picking up you and the remaining hatchlings one by one and placing you into the water. 30 centimeters, 100 grams. Right now, you're not even as strong as a decent fish. The water is black, but not because it's dirty. Amazon blackwater rivers are naturally this color, steeped into a dark tea color by fallen leaves on the riverbed. Lying on your mother's back, surrounded by 7 or 8 siblings crowding together, you look almost identical to them, except your snout seems slightly wider. But beneath the black water, danger lurks. A school of red-bellied piranhas smells the bloody scent of eggshells and swarms toward you.
Mother caiman violently thrashes her tail to drive them off, yet a few manage to circle around from the side. A hatchling swimming on the outermost edge gets bitten on the tail and dragged into the dark water. Your human brain thinks faster than your body. Piranhas attack in patterns. They test first and only swarm once blood is drawn. You cling tightly to mother's back, remaining completely motionless. This judgment saves your life. Just as you breathe a sigh of relief, a dark shadow falls from above. A harpy eagle with a 2-meter wingspan, whose talon grip force exceeds 50 kilograms, capable of carrying off monkeys on normal days, swoops down and snatches a hatchling right beside you. From sighting it to the hatchling vanishing, less than 2 seconds pass. The sky, the water, everything around is lethal. Before you grow up, every single second is a gamble. 3 months pass. You survived and began to grow. Your snout is wider, your armor thicker, growing faster than any of your brothers and sisters. You can't quite pinpoint what's wrong, but every time you look down at your reflection in the water, you feel that this doesn't look like a normal caiman's face. One late afternoon, a 5-meter green anaconda glides silently through the water grass, coiling around one of your stray younger brothers. The snake tightens its coils ring by ring. The hatchling's cries grow weaker and weaker. Your human brain calculates. An anaconda relies on constriction,
Pressing with 1 kilogram per square centimeter. Small as you are, rushing in is suicide. Yet you charge anyway. You bite into the snake's body. With a fierce whip of its tail, the snake flings you far away, crashing you into underwater tree roots. Your flank is sliced open, blood seeping into the black water. Mother caiman arrives from the other side, biting the anaconda and shaking it violently until it lets go, and retreats deep into the water weeds. Your brother survived, and so did you. But lying in the shallow water, as the dark water repeatedly washes over the wound on your flank and blood oozes from between your scales, for the first time, you truly understand one thing. Your human mind understands everything. But your body is still too small right now. Knowing danger and enduring danger are 2 entirely different things. Half a year passes. You have grown to 1.5 meters, while your clutch siblings are only half your size. 6 giant otters surround 3 of your brothers. Each is 1.5 meters long, shouting loud as megaphones. They are the only animals in the Amazon that dare to gang up on black caimans. They take turns rushing in to bite. Mother caiman isn't here. She's hunting downstream. The other hatchlings have only one reaction: flee. But you know the weakness of giant otters. They judge whether the fight based solely on size. You charge out, open your mouth wide, puffing up your body to the max, and unleash the loudest roar of your life at the nearest otter. The giant otters pause, exchange looks, and then retreat one after another. This is the first time you won using your brain, not brute force, but judgment. Your siblings cowering behind you look at you with different eyes. A year passes. You've grown to 2.5 meters and 100 kilograms. Your siblings aren't even 1 meter yet, and you're already catching up to your mother. They start avoiding you. Whenever you swim close, they scatter. Whenever you approach the nest, they duck under mother's belly. One day, as you swim back as usual, Mother caiman suddenly turns and opens her jaws at you. It's not a greeting. It's a warning. You take a step forward and she lunges fiercely, snapping her jaws shut. Just inches from your face. Your human brain understands. You grew too fast. You don't look like her kind. Her instinct has judged you as a threat. She is protecting her real children. And she isn't wrong. You back into the dark water, glance back once. She stands guard firmly in front of the hatchlings. You turn around and swim downstream. Following the dark water downstream, you travel far away. No more mother, no more siblings, only you and a brain carrying modern human memories. More hungry than ever. You stray into an unfamiliar stretch of river. Your human brain warns you, wait, this territory is claimed. But your stomach screams louder than your blood. That is the territory of an adult male black caiman over 4 meters long. He will weigh 2.5 meters. In his eyes, you aren't an opponent. You're a meal. He surges up from the riverbed and clamps onto your hind leg. Agonizing pain explodes. For the first time in your life, you taste your own blood. You struggle desperately to break free, leaving half your hind leg torn open, blood diffusing into the water. You scramble frantically onto the shallow bank, crouching in the mud, afraid to make a single move. Your brain knew long ago this place was dangerous, but your body was still too small, couldn't run fast, couldn't endure the blow. That injury took over a month to heal. During that month, you survived by eating rotten, dead fish in the mud. Limping and starving, you endured inch by inch. Yet, you kept growing. Once healed, you grew like crazy. Another half year passed, and you shot up from 2.5 meters to 5 meters, weighing a full ton. You had surpassed your 4-meter mother, surpassed every caiman you had ever seen in this river. Your human brain began searching its database. What are you, really? Deinosuchus? No, Deinosuchus had a narrower snout, from North America in the Cretaceous, not even in the same hemisphere. Saurosuchus? No, Saurosuchus had a much longer and thinner snout. The more you think, the more uneasy you become. Until one day, you run into the male black caiman that once bit you. He recognizes you and turns to flee, but it's too late. You bite into him in one snap. Your instinct tells you the next step, death roll. Just as your body's about to twist,
You realize it's unnecessary. The tough armor that had dominated this river for half his life has already turned into a pile of crushed debris in your jaws. You look down at your reflection in the dark water, an unnaturally broad head and unnaturally thick armor. South America, freshwater, Caymanine. Your whole body freezes. Purussaurus! A bite force close to 7 tons, the most terrifying mouth among all known animals. You've seen it in popular science videos. You remember pointing at the screen and telling a friend, this thing is way too ridiculous. But you never thought that one day you would become it. Over another half year, you grew to 7 meters and 2 tons. One day, as you lay in the riverbank mud, basking in the sun, a familiar shadow glided past the canopy above. A jaguar. You were all too familiar with this animal. When you were young, you saw a jaguar crush the skull of one of your brothers in a single bite. That was a unique skill of Felix, specifically used to pierce a crocodile's skull. In this rainforest, caimans have only one choice when they see it: flee. You remembered it for a lifetime. Now, it has set its eyes on you. In its eyes, you were just an exceptionally large crocodile. It pounced down from the tree, precisely biting the back of your head. You didn't dodge. Its teeth scraped against your skull. Your head was far thicker than any crocodile it had ever bitten in its life. Its fatal one-strike skill failed for the very first time. With a fierce shake of your head, you hurled it into the water. It scrambled back onto the bank, rolling and crawling, and fled into the dense jungle without looking back. That bite was a debt you owed for years. Today, you paid it back in full, with interest. Another half year passed, and you grew to 8 meters and 3.5 tons. One evening, a commotion came from upstream. That was where you grew up. You heard the mother caiman's roar. She was protecting her young. You turned around and swam back frantically. When you arrived, a jaguar was crouching by the nest, holding a hatchling in its mouth. Covered in wounds, the mother caiman kept charging forward time and again. But she was only 4 meters long and had long reached her limit. You burst out of the dark water. Seeing your massive size, the jaguar turned and ran. But you were faster. You bit its neck in one snap and dragged it into the water. It clawed and bit wildly beneath you, leaving several bloody gashes on your face. But in the water, it couldn't last even a minute. You released your grip and turned your head. The mother caiman lay motionless beside the nest. Her neck, back, and legs were covered in injuries. You slowly approached, nudging her head gently with your snout, as you used to on her back. No reaction. You nudged her again, but still nothing. She never knew you weren't her child. She never realized it her entire life. She used her 4-meter body to protect you and her real offspring. Protecting until her very last breath. Terrified, the surrounding hatchling scattered and fled as far from you as possible. You saved her children, but you couldn't save her. And her children, your brothers and sisters, would fear you until the day they die. From that day on, you never returned to those waters. You swam downstream with the river, year after year. By the 6th year, nothing could ever leave a wound on you again. 10.5 meters long, 6 tons in weight. A single skull was nearly 1.5 meters long, taller than an adult human. You were the largest creature this river had ever seen. You had heard of Purussaurus, but you never knew what it felt like to be the king of crocodiles. On the water's surface where you swam, all black chimanes either sank or fled. You didn't even have to chase them. They ran as soon as they caught your scent. A 6-meter green anaconda wrapped around your tail. You dragged it, shook it twice, bit it in half, and ate it like a snack. But what truly set you apart from them was not this body. Crocodiles naturally wait by the water for prey, but they don't remember or calculate. But you do. You remembered that the herd of capybaras entered the river from the same gap every evening. You remembered which path along the riverbank the lead tapir took. You would target the weakest and slowest ones. You calculated the wind and currents, leaving them unaware of where you hid until their death. The moment a 300-kilogram tapir lowered its head to drink, you shot up from underwater, clamped onto its head, and dragged it into the river to roll. A 300-kilogram creature was like a rag doll in your mouth. A prehistoric behemoth with a thinking mind was 100 times more terrifying than one relying solely on instinct. This strength, this speed, this sense of crushing anything in one bite, you never experienced it in your human life. But even a king gets hungry. With a body like yours, you needed dozens of kilograms of meat a day. 8 million years ago, this land beneath your feet was not a river, but an endless mega wetland. The waters were teeming with giant fish and giant turtles weighing thousands of pounds. Endless food. That wetland could support 100 behemoths like you. But as the Andes Mountains rose inch by inch, that wetland shrank bit by bit into today's river. What you ate in a week was more than what this stretch of river could produce in a month. Caimans grew scarcer and scarcer. Big fish were gone. Even tapirs drinking by the shore started avoiding your section of the river. You emptied this body of water. You didn't lose to any rival. You lost to time. You were a king built for that wetland 8 million years ago. But that wetland, along with everything it fed, had long been buried deep underground as the mountains rose. You came too late. A whole 8 million years too late. At dusk, you floated in the middle of the dark water, motionless. The setting sun cast a dark golden glow over your armor like scales.
The entire river was so quiet, you could hear your own breathing. You thought back to that mother caiman. She was so small, not even 4 meters long, unable to block a jaguar or protect all her children. Yet when she was alive, she was always surrounded by her young, with a nest she spent a lifetime digging and a stretch of river just enough for her. She was never lonely. And now, you are the king of this river. You defeated all rivals and claimed the finest territory. Within dozens of meters around, not a single living creature dared to approach you. And then there was nothing else. No kin, no rivals, not a single full meal, nothing willing to stay by your side. You were too exhausted. That familiar drowsiness rushed over you like water. You took one last look at this dark water. It would soon forget you, just as it had long forgotten the wetland that nurtured you 8 million years ago. And then you closed your eyes. When you opened your eyes again and tried to move, you found you had no legs. You tried to raise your head to look around, but your head was pressed flat against the ground. Your body extended endlessly behind you, section after section, out of sight. The next rebirth is already waiting for you. Are you ready?